This is me wanting to tear up the BIA's decision, matter of Felix Figueroa, which I did on a Catholic Legal Services presentation last week. I mean, it's the BIA rejecting the isomer argument in the Ninth Circuit, actually, in a case arising in the Ninth Circuit, because the Ninth Circuit hasn't ruled on the isomer argument yet. This is the idea that drugs can be internally divisible, that federal marijuana, for example, is broader than Florida marijuana, the 11th Circuit and the 8th Circuit have said, for example. So too with methamphetamine and cocaine. They're made of these things called isomers, apparently. Other things too. The federal government criminalizes possession of only positional isomers, I believe. And a lot of states criminalize possession of all isomers. Now, the meth that people do, I don't do meth, but I believe it is made of the bad isomers that both the states and the feds criminalize. But that's not how the categorical approach works. I mean, if the states have more isomers, criminalize more isomers, you have an overbroad state drug vis-a-vis the feds, and so the person's not removable for that. Even according to the BIA in matter of Felix Figueroa, the 2nd, 7th, and 8th circuits have made that exact ruling with meth. I think it might be more, but maybe that does sound right though. So this matter of Felix Figueroa, bad law in the 2nd, 7th, and 8th circuits at a minimum. Here's my beef. This is the BIA trying to create a special rule for the isomer argument. That is, that if you want to make this argument, you have to find a case where the state actually prosecuted the overbroad isomer, the realistic probability test. I wrote an article for your magazine on this, although not an isomer specifically. And that's not how the realistic probability test works in any circuit except the 5th Circuit. The BIA doesn't get to make a different rule for the categorical approach and realistic probability test with isomers as compared to any other crimmigration issue. That's just not how it works. They're making stuff up. And by the way, they're misreading lots of precedent, including the Supreme Court's Moncrief decision to do it. And I will not stand for it. I will die on this hill. In my opinion, matter of Felix Figueroa is bad law in every single circuit except the 5th Circuit. It has nothing to do with whether the circuit has addressed the isomer argument, which I will agree the 9th Circuit has not yet done. It did it and then it vacated it itself a long time ago. So it's open in the 9th, the specific isomer argument. But the realistic probability test has been very much so addressed in the 9th Circuit. It doesn't apply when the text of the state crime is textually obviously overbroad vis-a-vis the federal crime. So, there's a lot of reasons to be upset with matter of Felix Figueroa. I don't believe the BIA, to use the term for the 10th time on your show, is operating in good faith with this decision. They just don't like the categorical approach. They just don't like the isomer argument. And they're willing to misrepresent precedent to get there. So we'll see how this fares in the circuits, because even before Loper Bright, the federal courts owed the BIA absolutely no deference when it comes to the categorical approach stuff. So if you remember one thing, remember it's my opinion, matter of Felix Figueroa, bad law everywhere except the 5th Circuit, which already had this rule, unfortunately, for non-citizens everywhere. So that's my 3-minute takedown of that. But yes, for now, bad decision, gonna be really hard for people in immigration court, other than the 2nd, 7th, and 8th circuits for a little while. You got to be prepared to take it all the way to the circuit level.
Yeah, this isomer thing has always been a funny thing from the beginning.
Hey, yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, there are so many technicalities that the government gets to get people removable. God forbid we get one too,